Welcome to Valor Stories. In each episode, we honor a hero awarded the highest gallantry medal, celebrating their courage and sacrifice. Join us as we bring their legacies alive. Audey Murphy, the most decorated U.S. combat soldier of World War II. During Murphy's 3 years active service as a combat soldier in World War II, he received every decoration for valor that his country had to offer, some of them more than once, including 5 decorations by France and Belgium. What Audey accomplished during this period is most significant and probably will never be repeated by another soldier, given today's high-tech type of warfare. The US Army has always declared that there will never be another Audey Murphy. Credited with killing over 240 of the enemy while wounding and capturing many others. Beginning his service as an Army private, Audey quickly rose to the enlisted rank of Staff Sergeant, was given a battlefield commission as Second Lieutenant, was wounded 3 times, fought in 9 major campaigns across the European theatre, survived the war, and went on to become a celebrated Hollywood icon. This is the story of Audey Murphy. Audey Murphy was born on June 20th, 1925, the 6th of 9 children, in Kingston, Texas, to poor sharecroppers Emmett Berry Murphy and Josie Bell Killian. He was as Irish as his name, but had a streak of native Indian blood from his mother. Life on the farm was tough, and Audey had to grow up fast, dropping out of school in the 5th grade to help support his family. He worked long hours picking cotton, earning $1 a day to help make ends meet. Hunting became a necessity for Audey at a young age, as the rabbits and squirrels he shot with his slingshot and rifle provided much-needed food for his family. His marksmanship, honed through these early experiences, would later serve him well in the military. Audey's father was absent for much of his childhood, and when Audey was 12, Emmett Murphy disappeared entirely, never to be seen again. Left to fend for themselves, the mother, with younger children, moved into the home of a married sister, Mrs. Corinne Burns of Farmersville, Texas. Audey quit school completely and worked as a farmhand at a local grocery and filling station, earning $12 a week. When Audey was 16, his mother passed away from illness, a loss that would haunt him for the rest of his life. His younger siblings were placed in an orphanage, and the older children went their separate ways. A brother joined the army, while Audey went to Greenville, Texas Club, where he secured a $16 a week job in a radio repair shop. Joining the army a year later would change his life forever, and he would go on to become one of the most decorated soldiers in US history. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, he attempted to enlist in the US military, but the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps all turned him down for being underweight and underage. After his sister provided an affidavit that falsified his birth date by a year, he was accepted by the US Army on June 30th, 1942, 10 days after his 17th birthday. After basic training at Camp Walters, he was sent to Fort Meade for advanced infantry training. During basic training, he earned the Marksman Badge with Rifle Component Bar and Expert Badge with Bayonet Component Bar. He was deployed to Casablanca, North Africa, in February 1943 with the 1st Battalion, 15th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Infantry Division. During the Allied invasion of Sicily in July 1943, Murphy was promoted to Private First Class and later to Corporal for his combat performance. In the subsequent battles in Italy, including at Salerno and along the Volturno River, he was promoted to Sergeant in December 1943, then Staff Sergeant in January 1944. Murphy earned the Bronze Star with V device for destroying a German tank in March 1944 during the Anzio campaign, and was awarded the Combat Infantryman Badge in May 1944. After participating in the invasion of southern France, he received the Distinguished Service Cross for extraordinary heroism in August 1944, when he led a counterattack that killed multiple German soldiers and captured prisoners. Murphy also earned his first Purple Heart for a wound in September 1944 and a Silver Star for bravery during an assault on a machine gun position in October, followed by a Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster for further actions days later. He received a battlefield commission to Second Lieutenant that same month after capturing 2 Germans and eliminating a sniper. During the Colma Pocket Campaign in January 1945, Murphy displayed incredible heroism, single-handedly holding off German forces from a burning tank destroyer, for which he earned the Medal of Honor. He sustained leg wounds during this engagement, leading to his second Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster for the Purple Heart. Murphy was promoted to First Lieutenant in February 1945 and awarded the Legion of Merit for his service from 1944 to 1945. By the time the war was over in Europe, he had bagged 24 decorations for his exemplary courage, and starting as a private had rose to the commissioned rank of First Lieutenant. Audey had participated in 7 major battle campaigns: Tunisia, Sicily, Naples, Foggia, Rome, Arno, southern France, the Rhineland and Central Europe. Second Lieutenant Murphy commanded Company B, which was attacked by 6 tanks and waves of infantry. Second Lieutenant Murphy ordered his men to withdraw to prepared positions in a woods, while he remained forward at his command post and continued to give fire directions to the artillery by telephone. Behind him, to his right, one of our tank destroyers received a direct hit and began to burn. Its crew withdrew to the woods. Second Lieutenant Murphy continued to direct artillery fire, which killed large numbers of the advancing enemy infantry. With the enemy tanks abreast of his position, Second Lieutenant Murphy climbed on the burning tank destroyer, which was in danger of blowing up at any moment, and employed its .50 caliber machine gun against the enemy. He was alone and exposed to German fire from 3 sides, but his deadly fire killed dozens of Germans and caused their infantry attack to waver. The enemy tanks, losing infantry support, began to fall back. For an hour, the Germans tried every available weapon to eliminate Lieutenant Murphy, but he continued to hold his position and wiped out a squad which was trying to creep up unnoticed on his right flank. Germans reached as close as 10 yards, only to be mowed down by his fire. He received a leg wound, but ignored it and continued the single-handed fight until his ammunition was exhausted. He then made his way to his company, refused medical attention, and organized the company in a counterattack which forced the Germans to withdraw. His directing of artillery fire wiped out many of the enemy. He killed or wounded about 50. Second Lieutenant Murphy's indomitable courage and his refusal to give an inch of ground saved his company from possible encirclement and destruction, and enabled it to hold the woods which had been the enemy's objective. Audey was still not old enough to vote when he returned to the United States, arriving in San Antonio, Texas on June 14, 1945. He was sent home on a plane that also carried 13 generals. He was unaware of being the most decorated combat soldier and unintentionally slept through the banquet where the announcement was to be made and at which he was to be the surprise guest of honor. His photograph appeared on the cover of Life magazine, and actor James Cagney persuaded him to embark on an acting career. Still shy and unassuming, Murphy arrived in Hollywood with only his good looks and, by his own account, no talent. Nevertheless, he went on to make more than 40 films. In 1949, he published his wartime memoir, To Hell and Back, which received positive reviews. In 1955, he portrayed himself in the movie version of the book. Many film critics, however, believe that his best performance was The Red Badge of Courage, director John Huston's 1951 Civil War epic based on the novel by Stephen Crane. Murphy retired from acting after 21 years and subsequently bred racehorses and pursued various business ventures. But he struggled financially due to gambling and unsuccessful investments, and he declared bankruptcy in 1968. Always an advocate for the needs of veterans, he broke the taboo about discussing war-related mental problems. In an effort to draw attention to the problems of returning Korean and Vietnam War veterans, Audey Murphy spoke out candidly about his personal problems with PTSD, then known as battle fatigue. He publicly called for United States government to give more consideration and study to the emotional impact war has on veterans and to extend healthcare benefits to address PTSD and other mental health problems of returning war vets. In 1971, at the age of 45, Murphy died in the crash of a private plane near Roanoke, Virginia. On June 7th, Audey Murphy was buried with full military honors in Arlington National Cemetery. His gravesite, near the amphitheater, is second most visited gravesite year-round. President Kennedy's grave is the most visited. Thank you for subscribing and for your time spent watching Valor Stories. Until next time, remember their courage.